Hello, my name is Patty Lowry, and welcome to my course on how to use Paraben. Step 1. First, you need to connect your phone to the computer. Make sure that if you're using a virtual machine, that you connect to the virtual machine and not the host. Step 2. Open Paraben. This step may take several minutes, and you'll have to give your computer permission to use for Paraben to make changes to your computer. Step 3. Open developer mode on your phone. This can be complicated, but here's the steps to do it. First, you go to your settings. In your settings, you click on About Phone. Then you click on Software Information. When you find the build number, you click on it 7 times. That puts it into developer mode. Then you have to go back to the settings and open Developer Options. In Developer Options, you need to turn on Stay Awake and turn on USB debugging, because if you don't have Stay Awake on, then when your phone goes to sleep, it's gonna lose connection. And if you don't have USB debugging on, then it's not going to allow Paraben to pull anything off your phone. Step 4. Name your case. You can name it anything relevant. In this case, it's the Patty Lowry Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus Final Demo. Step 5. Click Start Acquisition from the Evidence ribbon. It's at the top of the screen, and it's easy to find. Step 6. Choose your device. In some cases, you'll have several options available for devices to choose from. In this case, I only have an Android, so it was easy. Just click whichever device you need to use. Step 7. Choose the type of acquisition desired. You have choices from full logical acquisition, physical acquisition, custom logical acquisition, and triage logical acquisition. In this case, I did a full logical acquisition. Step 8. Choose actions to be performed. In this case, we wanted to use both actions. We wanted to unlock the file system, and we wanted to remove the password protection. Step 9. Give permission for debugging. When Paraben asks for permission for USB debugging, you'll have to click OK on your phone, and if you don't, then it's gonna fail everything, and you'll have to start again. Step 10. Allow the acquisition to run. This will take hours. The user activity timeline goes fairly quickly. So the ADB backup, you need to stick around your laptop or computer to be able to put in your password to give it permission to do the backup. And then the file system is the one that takes the longest of the acquisitions. After that, you can just walk around, do whatever you need to do, and come back in a couple hours, and it should be close to done. After it completes the file system acquisition, the rest go fairly quickly. Step 11. Review what was successfully acquired. In my case, I had to step away from my computer, so I was not there to put in my password, so it did not read the ADB backup. It successfully acquired the data for the user activity timeline, file system, contacts, recovered contacts, SMS history, recovered SMS history, MMS history, recovered MMS history, call history, and recovered call history. It skipped the media card external memory because it did that when it did the file system. It successfully acquired the data from the media store. It partially acquired the installed applications. It successfully acquired the default browser history, the settings, the calendar, and the recovered calendar. The USB mass storage was not enabled on the device. It failed to authenticate the data, probably because of up here where I wasn't there to put in my password, and the option for removing password protection was not available. Step 12. Click finish when it comes, and then the screen will pop up that it says mobile data acquisition finish, data is finished, and you click OK. Step 13. Then you can review your data. As you can see, it pulled up the phone information, user activity timeline, file system, everything that it successfully pulled off of the acquisition. It has listed here in the folders, all nice and neat and pretty. All you have to do is click on each one and it'll show you everything that's in those files, and over here it'll show you the properties of everything that are in the files. Step 14. After conducting the full logical acquisition, then you could do a cloud import. The cloud import is just as easy as doing the regular acquisition. You go to the evidence ribbon at the top of the screen, and just a couple buttons over from the start acquisition, you'll see cloud import, and you click it, and this screen right here will pop up. Step 15, click Add Account. When you click Add Account, this will pop up, and you'll have the option. You can click the arrow and choose from the list that it gives you. And then once you choose which one you want to use, then you have to enter your credentials and click Authenticate. In my case, I don't use any of them enough to remember my passwords to them, so I took a few guesses. I tried with every app that it gave me the choice from, and every time I would put in the credentials that I thought they were, and I would click Authenticate, and instead of verifying successful authentication because I could not remember my passwords, I would get invalid credentials. However, if you're better than I am at keeping up with your credentials and you put in the correct password, then it'll show up that you can pull up more information. Here's an example of the screens that you will see if you remember your credentials for it to be able to successfully do the cloud import. You'll be able to get profile information, friends, notifications, newsfeed, picture albums, conversations, any other. And the data that you're able to get depends on what account you use. In this case, it was Facebook. Using Paraben brings to mind the subject of data privacy. A lot of people are against programs like this because they're worried about their personal information getting into the wrong hands. They say that if you want the most amount of privacy, that you're best off getting an iPhone, because the makers of the iPhone will not even help the FBI crack into your phone. They will not give your information if they are trying to make their operating systems to where they cannot possibly be hacked into. Every time they find out that somebody's able to hack into one of their devices, they do their best to go in and fix it, which makes it even harder for digital forensics experts to do their job when they have a suspect with an iPhone. Androids, on the other hand, are fairly easy to get into because they don't automatically encrypt everything. With iPhones, the encryption is based on the user's password, so the makers of the iPhone don't honestly know what the encryption code is, because without the password they can't do anything either. They do this on purpose because they want their customers to know that their information is safe, that they don't have to worry about their privacy being invaded by the wrong people. After using both Paraben and Mobile Edit Forensic Express, in my opinion, the Mobile Edit was a little bit easier to use. It took a little bit shorter of time to pull the data requested off, and to me was even a little bit easier to read than the Paraben information. Whichever forensic tool that you use, just keep in mind that the more information you have, the more data you'll be able to pull off the device.